What's up, guys? It is Patricia from TarantulaHeaven.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are into tarantula tips, tarantula facts, weird observations about my own tarantulas, feel free to subscribe. I put out a video every single week on Tarantula Tuesday, and today we're talking about my favorite tarantula YouTubers. As we're on YouTube, I feel it's only appropriate to continue to give you guys some really great resources for those of us who really like to learn through video platforms. So I think that this video will be really useful and hopefully help you discover some really amazing people. And a lot of these channels are pretty well known, so you might know them anyway, but I really want to talk about why I think these channels are great. So anyway, I hope you gained something from this. There's probably never been a better time to join the tarantula hobby just because we have so much more information in different forums than we had 10 years ago. Anybody who's been in this hobby for a decade or two could tell you that the amount of discovery, research, and just sharing and connection in the tarantula keeping hobby has definitely been aided by the rise of the internet and all these great platforms like Facebook groups, forums, YouTube. It's really, really wonderful. It's become such a great community for sharing information and experience. I personally find YouTube much more helpful to me than necessarily Facebook groups or forums, just because I really love the tutorial aspect of it and the ability to observe things. Tarantula movement, tarantula behavior, that stuff is really great, I think, for learning. Of course, groups and forums have their own place. They can be amazing if you have an emergency or need very specific advice about something or just want to connect with people. I think that definitely the Facebook groups and forums are amazing for that. But as far as YouTube tutorial and stuff like that, are for those of us who are more visual learners or maybe auditory learners too, that is where YouTube definitely shines. Fortunately, thanks to the rise in popularity in tarantula keeping and the rising use of video for content, there are a lot of tarantula keepers on YouTube who are sharing their amazing experiences and their great videos. So I am really, really happy about this development in the tarantula community. So I'm sharing a few of my favorite, not in any particular order, and I'm sharing why I think they're great. I follow a lot of tarantula channels, and I have a lot of ones that I really, really love. I'm just going to share the ones that I visit most frequently and for what specific reason. Not to say that there aren't other great channels that are just as valuable. This is just what I personally do on YouTube. So I'm just sharing my habits. So for tarantula facts and care, if you're looking for that kind of stuff, definitely recommend Tom's Big Spiders, which is run by Tom Moran. This channel barely needs any introduction. I feel like any of Tom Moran's work doesn't really need an introduction. He is an absolute legend in the hobby, and I don't even know what else. You probably all know already. He has been so amazing in the tarantula community, so helpful in sharing his knowledge. And I think what really makes Tom's channel amazing is that he actually does have a background in teaching. He is a teacher and an educator. So I think that that is what makes his channel really special, in that it is so educational and it's so factual. It's very, very reliable information. And he really cares about delivering that information and making it accessible. Tom is also a very trustworthy person and just a really good human being. So he is somebody that I would trust with information and someone that I would definitely feel good reaching out to in case I needed help. And he makes himself so available to any tarantula keeper. So he's an incredibly giving, caring individual who really cares about this hobby. So that is something that I love and respect about Tom. Tom even was kind enough to let me use one of his tarantula drawings in my Tarantula Guide. He was kind enough to let me interview him for my first issue of my Tarantula magazine and share his expertise. And that was a really, really proud moment for me, because like one of my tarantula idols was involved in something I created. And he is just so well respected by myself and so many others in the tarantula hobby. So if you need information about tarantula care, species info, care info, really anything related to tarantula keeping, I recommend Tom's channel, as well as his website, his podcast, basically anything that Tom puts out. Definitely check it out. In the blog post connected to this video, I have all the links to Tom's stuff and the other tarantula keepers that I'm going to be talking about in this video. So definitely look in the description for that blog post. It will lead you to everything I'm talking about. Another great channel that I go to frequently is the Tarantula Collective, which is run by Richard Stewart. I mention Richard a lot in my tarantula videos, and that is because I believe that he has found a way to kind of pair how amazingly cool the tarantula keeping hobby is with facts and education and information. And that is something that I think that this tarantula hobby really needed. I think that what is so special and unique about the Tarantula Collective is not only the community on Facebook is so interactive, amazing, and well moderated. Everything that Richard puts out really has a great flair to it. I think that that's evident in anything. It's evident in his website, it's evident in his merch, it's evident in his channel and his filming. Everything that I feel like the Tarantula Collective really gives the tarantula keeping hobby this very elevated appearance, which I think is so useful and certainly encourages more people to get into the hobby, because it shows how cool tarantulas are. Particularly on the YouTube channel, you can really tell that Richard, he has a great eye for cinematography, and his videos are very, very fun and engaging. And I think that sometimes when you look at tarantula keeping videos, you don't really get a lot of that. A lot of times it's like, you know, like my channel, it's like somebody talking with like a tarantula, but Richard's videos are actually very much like art if you ever look at any of them. So that is something that I'm really excited to see more of in the tarantula keeping hobby, having more artists and people who are really creative get involved in that. If you've ever seen any of Richard's tarantula videos, you'll see that like his tarantula room in itself is like a work of art. So I think that that brings a really fun aspect to tarantula keeping. And I also think his personality is really engaging and approachable. So I like that it's painting tarantula keeping in a really positive light, and it's offering something different that we haven't really had before, at least as far as I know. So I think a lot of people actually come to the Tarantula Collective for information, and they end up binge watching because there's so many amazing shots and cinematography involved, and it's actually really great entertainment. So I have yet to see a channel that combines entertainment and information and care stuff the way that Richards does, and that makes me visit that channel all the time, reference in my videos. I really like that channel. And Richard has been really, really great in connecting with and supporting other tarantula channels and keepers and creators. He has been involved in my own tarantula magazine, and he's been a great support of that. And I really appreciate that. He is a great person and somebody that I would very much trust in going to for advice or even just talking about tarantula stuff. So he is a great resource. Definitely check out the Tarantula Collective on YouTube, as well as his website. And if you like tarantula merch, definitely check out his store. Tarantula Cat is also somebody that I keep up to date on. I think Tarantula Cat is great at making informative videos while also being really fun and quirky. And I think she's also really great at connecting with people too. So that really helps to make the tarantula keeping hobby feel less isolated. I really enjoy that she regularly shows that she has relationships with other major tarantula keepers. So she's done videos with The Dark Den, Tarantula Guy, who's Rob Carmen. She's also made fun of Exotic's Lair a bunch of times. So I think that having this banter with fellow tarantula keepers really shows that we're a community. And I think she is very, very good at that. And I also enjoy that she is a female. Not that that's anything to brag about, but I love that, you know, the popularity of her channel really represents that much of the tarantula keeping hobby is actually female. And it's great to see a female being so knowledgeable and popular and accepted into this hobby, like Tarantula Cat is. I think that she is great at what she does, and I think that the way that she engages her audience and relates to them is really unique. I think that also what goes along with her being a woman is that she's really, really good about speaking up about the sexism and unfair treatment of women in general, but also in the tarantula keeping hobby. A while ago, Tarantula Cat spoke out about the comments that she was getting about her weight from her YouTube channel. And I think that that is something that women in general do deal with, and it's not fair. I can't think of any male tarantula YouTubers who have received negative comments about their weight. So I'm so glad that she talked about that. So I think Tarantula Cat's channel is fantastic. I love the way she engages with her community. Her videos are really fun. She's got her own personal style, and she's also just really experienced, and she finds a way to share her knowledge in a way that is really fun for her viewers. So that's another channel that I like to keep up to date on. My next topic of tarantula YouTubers that I follow is the oldies but goodies. These are channels like John 3800. That was one of the first people that I found on YouTube when I started to look into tarantula keeping and care on YouTube. He no longer posts solely about tarantulas, but he still does. He keeps us updated on his collection, and he has been at this for a long time, over 10 years, as many tarantula owners that I have spoken about before. His videos don't necessarily have the setups or the cinematography that a lot of the other channels that I've talked about previously. However, his information is really good. It was really useful. He is an older, well-known channel, and I still like to check on his channel for information, or if I have a specific need that I'm trying to get some info about. Another oldie but goodie is Tarantula Guy 1976, also known as Rob Carmen. Rob was also one of the ones that I first stumbled upon in my tarantula keeping journey. I really like his channel for his tutorials, particularly about getting a tarantula out of a bad molt. I think that he's really well known for this video and the experience he went through with his own big tarantula, Zilla. And I also really appreciate how he cares for his tarantulas too. He was actually the first tarantula owner that demonstrated that it is normal to have love for and an emotional attachment to your tarantulas. You know, I remember when he did go through that molting problem with Zilla and how torn up he was about it when she passed. I really felt that because I have an emotional attachment to my tarantulas. And so seeing that made me feel less alone. When I saw that video and watched that series, it made me, like, it was very validating for me that even though a lot of people wouldn't think of tarantulas as pets that you can mourn over, it really, I think I would have reacted the very same way. I would have maybe even been more devastated. And I think that that's really powerful for people to see, because I think tarantula owners do feel alone when their spiders have passed or if they've had an issue. It's just not something that a lot of people understand. And so having Rob be so open and vulnerable about that, that was something that really stuck out to me. And the rest of his videos are great. I love how he documents his journey as a keeper. I really appreciate how he has documented bites that he's gotten from his tarantulas so that we as the tarantula keeping community can have information about this. So I think his channel is really valuable, and he doesn't just post tarantula videos anymore. And he'd actually taken a break for a few years, and everyone was like, where is Rob? But he's back, and he's well, and he's still posting tarantula videos. So he's definitely a channel that I would keep coming back to. My next topic of tarantula YouTubers are entertainment tarantula channels. Two big channels, The Dark Den, run by Petco, and Exotic's Lair, are two tarantula channels that are extremely popular and really responsible for the growth of this hobby and the curiosity that people have about tarantulas, which is great. However, I wouldn't necessarily recommend these channels for tarantula tips or tarantula care or specific information about tarantulas. So I would really only go, me personally, I really only go to these channels to see what these guys are up to, if there's anything funny on their channel or something that interests me, and to see what new content they're bringing up. So The Dark Den, which is run by Petco, is one of the most popular channels for tarantula keepers on YouTube. And I really like this channel because it shows how fun tarantula keeping can be. Petco has a great personality, he's engaging, he's easy to like, which I think is really wonderful for breaking down barriers to this hobby. He's also really great at showcasing species and specific type of spiders, and his setups tend to be really beautiful. So I really like this channel, and it was also a big one for me to be able to feature an interview with Petco in my first tarantula magazine. So that was yet another proud moment. I'm so thankful for that, and I definitely recommend checking his channel out. And the last person for the entertainment category is Exotic's Lair. Now, to my knowledge, no one really knows who Exotic's Lair is. His face is never shown in his videos. It's just his hand talking to his spiders. But a lot of people like his channel. His channel is huge. He's got over 2 million subscribers. I think by far the most popular tarantula channel. So I think that that's really great for getting people involved in the hobby and seeing tarantulas from a different light. A lot of people don't like this channel though. I think he can be a little bit polarizing with the kind of like the stunt nature of his channel. So, you know, like I said, this is for entertainment, not necessarily guidelines on tarantula care or anything like that. I think some people would even consider the jealous cat. Some people would even consider what he does kind of risky, the type of things that he does with his tarantulas. So keep that in mind, but I definitely recommend checking his channel out just to see what he's got. I think his style of filming has really enchanted people and tarantula owners. Sometimes I do believe that he disturbs his tarantulas, maybe more than they should be, but what I really like about his channel is that it's a really funny way and fun way to look at tarantula keep, and it also shows the relationship that many tarantula owners have with their spiders, which I think is really unique and kind of precious. I mean, how many of us have been terrified when we've all got that one tarantula, right, who just freaks out whenever their water dish gets filled. And I think that that's something that we can really all relate to. So I think that people really like it for that reason, and I also really like it for that reason. Now, there's a lot of channels that I absolutely love and I haven't mentioned because they either don't fall into any of those categories, or maybe they don't put out as frequently. So in the blog post in my description, I am going to list a bunch of really amazing tarantula YouTube videos, YouTube channels. I have been so fortunate in this hobby since getting involved and since joining YouTube that I've met so many great people who've made their own channels too. So I'm really excited for what the tarantula hobby is going to look like in a few years as video continues to be more popular and more people get involved and share their knowledge in different ways. So definitely check out these YouTubers. I am so happy to share them with you, and I hope that you will also share some of your great ones with me too, the ones that you always go to for information, because I always like to explore YouTube and find new people that I can learn from or even just connect with. So definitely leave yours below. If you like any of the people that I've mentioned, or if you don't like them, let me know too. I think we can all learn from each other and learn from our different viewpoints. So yeah. I hope that you guys perhaps discovered some new tarantula YouTubers from this, or maybe even thought about one of those channels in a different way after hearing this. So I hope you guys have a blessed week, a great week, and I'll see you next week for Tarantula Tuesday. Take care.